billions of years of evolutionary advancement.
And then we have Cassie.
Sorry, I have to sneeze. Hoi! Yow! Ho! Okay, I think I'm fine. Happy day, I'm Gloom! And today I am here with Yammy.
Hello!
Yammy, you've been like the Dos Equis guy for the past few months, like the most interesting person in the world. Every time I try to get a hold of you, you're like, I'm in London, I'm in Germany, I'm in a boat.
What can I say? I'm so interesting.
Are you ready to have some virtual, I was about to say, are you ready to have some virtual sex? I don't mean that. Are you ready to have some virtual sexy times?
Oh yes, Cassie, I'm ready for you to seduce me too.
Oh, I'm going to. So currently, Glammy is stuck in the demon world with all of these freaks over here. We just want to get home to Damien. We just want to get married, make some sweet, sweet love, kiss him on his little butt cheeks, but it's looking kind of dire. How is I going to get home? Would I ever be able to go home? I'm stuck here. I looked up to see the winged person hovering near me before they moved and sat on their knees on the stone ground beside me.
We'll get you home, okay? Diana just needs a little rest, okay?
Also, it's really weird that we're friends with Diana right now because in the first Seduce Me, we did not like her one bit. She tried to sleep with our boyfriend, husband now, our fiance. So it's a little awkward, but it seems like Diana's on our side. She needs more than rest. She needs to use different spells to send her back. The Demon Lord will expect her to use the shadow spell again.
How about the normal way? I'm sure we can connect to a witch or even the warlock she used before to reopen the portal to the human world.
Guys, I don't care how you get me back to the human world, I just want to go.
The warlock she used to get the human world died, remember? And he was the most powerful warlock in the human world. Practically a god himself. What other human could be used to open a portal without another human dying? Ooh.
You guys have to make a sacrifice?
It was merely a suggestion. The faster we get this human home, the faster we can move on and finish off the Demon Lord.
Well, what are we going to do with the human now?
We can give her a room to rest in. Humans need sleep after all. Maybe by the time she wakes up, we'll think of a solution.
Oh, aren't you just so uppity?
Come.
I'm trying to, but I need to get home first. The woman with the rabbit ears looked down at me and lowered her hand to me, inviting me to take it. She had a kind but concerned expression on her face, so I trusted her, I guess. I couldn't do anything. I was forced to listen to the beings around me because there was nothing else I could do. Without them, I couldn't get home.
Here, I'll bring you to the open ambassador's room. You're free to rest there for now.
Thank you. Are there any sex demons in there? Ooh, what about Diana? Glammy? Or... okay. I feel like the best thing would be to care about Diana because Diana's like... she's really sticking her neck out for us lately.
Really? Because we hate Diana.
I know, but can you just drop the fact that she tried to sleep with our boyfriend?
That's pretty gross. I don't know if I can ever forget that.
I know. Does Glammy care about Diana now? Are we gonna mend ties? She might be our only way out of here. Or are we just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna go sleep?
I guess she could probably get us home, so what about Diana?
Okay. The floating person giggled softly as the woman with rabbit ears cleared her throat.
She'll be fine. She's being taken care of right now.
Oh yeah, remember that one guy has to like make love to her so she gets her energy back?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Why not just say she's getting
Shh! Ogre!
And the brute strikes again with the lack of a tasteful filtering between his brain and his mouth. You still have yet to prove me wrong about my expectations of you.
Keep testing me, assassin. I'm not afraid to rip your spine out of your body and use it as a back scratcher.
Ooh. Can I get an ooh-ooh?
You can very well try, brute.
Ugh, would you both knock it off?
Come, everything will be taken care of.
Before I could protest, the woman led me out of the room and into the hall. I kept my eyes down, trying to take in more of the situation I was in. I was trapped in the demon world and Diana was out of commission. The Demon Lord had plans for me, but what exactly was he aiming for? I could have been bait, I could have been revenge. I didn't know, nor could I figure it out now. At least I was safe. At least, I hope I was safe. The woman led me to a room that practically screamed medieval fantasy. It was kind of nice in there. Everything was clean, but it still had that old age feel, as if no one had ever stepped foot in the room until that moment. Very fancy. Are we gonna have some fun in here?
Rest here for now. When Diana is well again, we can discuss what to do.
Okay. Thank you. Guess I'll get some rest. I nodded to the woman before she gently curtsied and left, closing the door behind her. I took a moment to observe my surroundings, interested in understanding the aesthetic. This was fantasy turned into a reality. It was like I had gone back in time. Why though? Was the demon world really that behind in the times, or did magic supersede technology and this was the result? Despite the situation I was in, which was beyond heartbreaking and terrible, my curiosity began to fester in my mind, as if I was given a golden opportunity to learn something new. However, my thoughts began to drift, and I felt myself becoming weak and dizzy, no doubt from the shock and trauma I had gone through. I stumbled towards the bed, needing to sit down and let everything settle in without passing out. As my big plump rear hit the mattress, however, I let out a small, pleasured sigh. Fine. Holy crap, this is a comfy mattress! I felt myself fall back, and my entire body simply melted into the softness beneath my body. It was like I was sleeping on a cloud. Was that possible? Demon magic may have had something to do with it, but I was certain that I was drifting into an almost blissful sleep just by lying on the blankets in that mattress. Oh, so comfy! Not caring that I was still in my dress, I closed my eyes and drifted to sleep. I needed the rest, since Diana wouldn't be available for a while anyway. Darkness surrounded my mind, my dreams remaining silent and hushed in the cool and calm black. No nightmares appeared, and no sounds were made. I was simply resting, and that was all my body needed. Kinda nice. I let my thoughts wander in my subconscious, thinking about what was going to happen now. What will the boys do when they realize I'm gone? What will he do? My love. I imagined him finding a way through to the demon world and pulling me back to where I belonged, wrapping me in his arms and swearing to never let me go. I would be relieved, and we would be married just as we planned. Ooh, best case scenario. How unrealistic was that? I had to be realistic now. I was stuck, and the only one who seemed to be able to send me back was Diana and her companions, whoever they were. I had to trust them, whether I liked it or not. Eventually, I did rise from my sleep, somehow fully refreshed and calm. How could that have been? I was thinking all night. Sitting on a cloud. Ooh, Diana.
Did you have a good rest?
Ugh, Diana, I hate you. I turned my head to see Diana at the door, arms crossed and leaning against the door's archway. She had a look of concern and pure curiosity on her face as she awaited my answer. Okay. Do we care about Diana? Are you okay? Yes, thanks. I'm fully well rested. Or, do you not know how to knock, bitch?
She's being nice to us, so maybe we should be nice to her too.
Okay.
What do you think?
We'll do it.
Yeah?
We'll do it. Are you okay, Diana? I really care about you. Diana stared at me, slightly shocked. Did she not expect me to ask? Like, did she not expect that I'm the nicest girl ever?
Huh? Well, yes, I'm fine now that I've had a proper rest.
And a proper romp, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's good, I guess. Diana shook her head and stepped into the room, closing the door behind her. Ooh, it's just me and you, Diana.
So, we need to find another way to get you back to the human world. It won't be easy, but I believe it can be done by tonight at the very latest.
Thank you. Diana, why are you so seductive, though? Tonight? Really? Diana nodded and crossed her arms again, leaning on one hip. Sassy.
It will take time to get our shadow agents to gather the necessary supplies, but they are not that hard to obtain, being that we are in a position of power. You must be lucky.
Diana sighed, and before casting a short spell under her breath in front of me... Sorry, I have to sneeze. Hoi! Yow! Ho! Okay, I think I'm fine. Diana sighed before casting a short spell under her breath. In front of me appeared a floating map, almost like a hologram. It showed an entire world with mountains, plains, and forests, and it was all surrounded by sea and water. Diana pointed at the marker that had a purple banner at its tip. It was marked in the center of some mountain and forest area. It was also the very center of the map.
That is where we are currently. The center of the abyssal plains.
Okay. Diana then ran her finger in a circle around the marker, showing a perimeter around it.
Everything we need for the spell is within this area. It will just take time to gather the materials and prepare it.
How long? I nodded, understanding the situation. I was going to hopefully be able to go home tonight, which was better than not going home at all. So, what should I do until then? Do we have any demon things to do?
My suggestion? Stay in this room. I can mark this room as off limits so that no demon may enter that would confuse you for an intruder and kill you.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Diana, I appreciate it. Ooh, I didn't want to die. As Diana made the magical map disappear, she shrugged.
However, I cannot stop you from whatever you wish to do. Just don't leave the castle. Please, don't be an idiot.
Ugh. I nodded as she turned to leave. As she stepped out, Diana looked back at me with a reassuring look. Are we friends, Diana?
We'll get you back to the human world. I promise you that.
Oh, thanks. Finally, she left me alone in the room. I let out a small sigh and looked up at the ceiling. I had to wait until tonight to actually do anything. What was I gonna do? Part of me agreed with Diana's suggestion, wanting to stay in the room and be safe in case the guards didn't know who I was and would kill me on sight. My curiosity, however, wouldn't leave me alone and wanted me to explore the castle. I was handed an opportunity to explore a castle in the demon world, and part of me did not want to let that go to waste. I'm feeling kind of selfish, and I'm kind of torn on what to do.
Uh-oh.
Are we gonna be a good little Glammy, or are we gonna be a bad little Glammy?
Oh my gosh, we could die, Cassie, we could die.
What if we have to sit here for like 8 hours?
Well, we'd get home and we wouldn't die.
But there was nothing in here.
I know,
There's not even like dirty
boring.
channels we can watch.
I guess we should explore.
Really?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, we're going! There was no way I was letting this chance pass me by. We're out of here, baby. We're Glammy. I stood and walked towards the door, opening it a crack and looking around. There was no one in the hall, but there were 2 directions to go. I feel like a little spy right now.
Oh
Which
my gosh.
way? Left or right?
What hand are you? Left
I'm
or
left-handed.
right-handed? Oh my gosh.
You're
I'm
right-handed?
right-handed.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Well, maybe we should go right because it's the right way, eh?
Yeah, we should.
Okay, we're
Right
going
is the
right,
way.
baby. I went with right. I closed the door behind me as I exited my room and began to make my way down the right corridor. Everything was definitely medieval style, and I felt a bit small in the hall, but, you know, I'm Glammy, so I fill up an entire hallway with my big ass. It was like I was in a fairy tale, walking around in a wedding dress that I'm still wearing because I was supposed to get married to Damien. It felt almost dreamlike, kind of glamorous. As I approached another fork in the hall, however, I sighed. Oh, damn it, do we have to make another choice? Really? How does anyone find their way around? I looked back, knowing I hadn't walked far from my room. I could turn back, yet
Uh-oh.
I wondered. Right? Head back to the room, or left?
Are you gonna get lost?
We might get lost in the demon
I
world.
think we should just keep going right, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
So instead of running back to the room with our tails in between our legs, we're going right. We're going the right way. The righteous way. We're Glammy, baby. I was heading right anyway. Might as well do it again. I turned right and headed down the hall, greeted by a more fantastical decor. My journey down the hall led me to a set of stairs, which led to a door to the outside. I remembered Diana's warning, but I was curious. I slowly approached the door and opened it, peeking outside to see what it held. Oh shit!
Soldiers!
I jumped at the sound of a commander's voice, feeling the chill that ran through me when I first encountered the Demon Lord in the Incubi's vision. The Demon Lord wasn't here, was he? Oh boy. Oh, it's the Ogre. I peeked past the door once again to see the large, muscular man whom I had met when I fell into this world, barking orders at a large group of soldiers. They were all attentive and obedient towards each command he shouted. So this Ogre is a commander.
You all performed well in holding the Demon Lord off. But if we want to win this war, then you will need to become much stronger.
Ooh.
We want to win, yes.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yes, commander. Ooh, ooh.
Good. Then pair up and fight like you were fighting the Bastard Lord himself. Keep going until I give you the clearance to stop. Oh, oh.
On his orders, the soldiers turned either left or right and began to spar as if they were seriously battling each other. It was almost scary to watch, swords clanging violently and shields beating against steel. They were beating the shit out of each other.
Human.
I felt my fear take over as he called out my race, making me stand up straight as the door swung fully open on its own. I wasn't able to hide anymore. Uh-oh, don't kill me, Ogre.
Front and center.
What? On its own, my body began to walk towards the muscled Ogre man, and soon I was standing front and center with the sparring clashing behind me.
Do you have jurisdiction to leave your room, human?
Yes? I felt my answer force itself out as if I had no control over myself. Why was this happening? What have I done? I looked at the Ogre man and noticed his golden eyes burning into my gaze. Was he using his powers on me? The man crossed his arms and looked at my form. I know it's a nice form, but don't stare.
Why are you here then?
I was curious. sorry. With a raised eyebrow, the man uncrossed his arms and looked over to a weapon rack. On it were spears, swords, shields, and other weaponry that I really did not want to deal with while wearing a wedding dress.
Tell me, are you proficient with a sword?
Was he seriously going to make me fight? I somehow regained control of myself and shook my head. No, I mean, I can do taekwondo, but...
Taekwondo? What is that?
I gulped but remembered that he was a demon. Human fighting was not like demon fighting. Well, it's a form of fighting without weapons, like kind of peaceful, you know?
Like brawling,
No, you ogre. No, it's like precision fighting, I guess? I mean, I can't really show you in this dress, but...
Then take off your clothes,
Excuse me? My face instantly turned red. What? I stepped away and crossed my arms over my chest, feeling myself become red in anger and embarrassment. I'm not gonna get naked for you, ogre man. No! Why would I do that? The man growled and sighed, rubbing his head. Did he seriously think asking me that was a good idea? What was he? A pervert? The man then crossed his arms again and stared plainly at me.
If clothes hinder you from defending yourself, you shouldn't wear any.
Oh.
You can look as fancy as you want, but fancy clothes won't protect you from a blade,
I mean, I guess, but is that why you're not wearing much, Mr. Ooh?
Yeah.
Was he seriously giving me a lecture about clothes and defending myself? He looked pretty serious, so I continued to listen without interrupting.
There's only one thing in this world that should matter to you, yourself.
Oh.
If you can't protect yourself, then you need to fix that. Even if that means stripping out of that wedding garb thing or whatever you're wearing,
Okay, he makes a pretty good argument, not gonna lie. But I don't need to defend myself right now. I just wanted to show you. Show you what?
Then show me, or don't suggest the idea.
Oh.
Words also have power here. Unlike the human world, we take what we say very seriously.
I suddenly felt small looking at the man. Was he trying to teach me a lesson? I understood what he meant, but was he trying to teach me or berate my reaction? He was making no sense, yet I felt like I should have been listening intently and obeying. The man shook his head and pointed at the door I came from.
Return to where you came from. You'll be sent back to the human world soon enough. Don't distract my soldiers from their training,
But what if I want to take off my clothes and fight? I looked behind me to find some of the soldiers looking at me as they fought. Some in hunger, some in confusion, and others in disgust. My arms wrapped themselves around my form and I shivered before nodding to the commander and rushing towards the door. Maybe I should have stayed in my room. Whoopsies. I marched back to my room, determined to not allow my curiosity to get the better of me anymore. Oh, here we are. I remained in my room until the night came. I was given food, which looked like soup or something. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know that food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple of days away. Being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? Look at this shit. Is this ogre food? Refuse it or just eat it. Are we gonna be a curious?
Just eat it.
We're gonna be a curious little Glammy. We're gonna eat this magical stew.
It's gonna be made out of babies or something. I know it.
Let's just eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. I gulped. I had to try it. I had to eat it. I hadn't eaten in 2 days, even before I came to the demon world. Me and Damien were just, skronking, and that's it. I was pretty certain Diana wouldn't poison me now, and I was fairly sure that she wouldn't serve me anything disgusting, so... I lifted the spoon that was sitting in the broth, letting it capture some of the stew as it rose. I mean, it wasn't terribly scary to look at. I gulped and slowly brought the spoon to my lips, feeling the heat emanate from the stew. I'm scared. A knock rapped on my door, breaking me out of my train of thought. Oh, who's that? The door opened to reveal Diana with a plate holding things I recognized. Bread and cheese! My favorite! I let out a heavy sigh of relief before Diana laughed.
I suggest not trying that.
Oh?
As good as it smells, the taste will not sit well with you.
Oh, Diana, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for the brie and the cheese and the bread. I need it. Instantly, I moved the bowl to the nearby table. Get the hell away from me. Thankful that I did not have to try it. Diana handed me the plate and nodded, reassuring me that what was on it was indeed what it seemed.
It's not much, but it's human food. Eat up.
Oh, thank you, Diana. Oh, I will. I began to chow down, feeling the hunger in my stomach dissipate with each bite and swallow. The food I was eating, surprisingly, was delicious. As I began to crave something to drink, Diana chuckled and formed a small goblet in her hand, filled with a clear liquid that I assumed to be water. I took it and drank it down, feeling my thirst quenched before I let out a sigh. I feel so much better.
I can tell. Take a moment to finish eating, then we'll head for the ritual.
I looked up at Diana, suddenly excited. Everything was prepared for? Was it possible to go home now? As if she read my mind, she smiled and nodded.
We've finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and we'll start.
Thank you! I couldn't continue eating. My mind went into an obsessive frenzy of wanting to go home. I stood up, moving the plate and the goblet to the nearby table. Let's go.
Huh? Are you sure?
Yes. I nodded, not wanting to waste any more time. I needed to go home and I was tired of waiting. Let's go! Diana stared before nodding and heading for the door, opening it for me and exiting after me. As she closed the door behind her, I began to feel my heart flutter in relieved joy. I was heading home. Bye, freaks! Diana led me down the corridors to the war room where I had originally arrived, to reveal the table covered in plants and artifacts of different kinds. None of it made sense to me, but I had to only assume it was what was needed for the spell to work. Diana walked to the table and took note of what she saw, nodding.
This should work. You're in doubt? Have to be after the last time we tried sending her home. Do we have a human anchor? No, you're on your own this time, but we'll make sure you survive casting it.
This spell should work, however, because we'll be using energy material. It will only require a slice of your energy on top of these items, which your guard can refill immediately after this. Hey, you know what I mean.
Ew.
They're gonna do it.
Just make sure you don't die casting it. Please.
Okay, please don't rat me out for coming outside today. Diana smiled at her guard before turning to me.
So, are you ready to return home?
She didn't have to ask. I'm ready. Let's go. Now. Diana nodded once more before turning back to the table. She lifted her arms over the surface and lowered her head, muttering under her breath.
O tenebras portas aproras nobas laguarda exitum dasarutum.
Sounds very technical. As she spoke, the table began to glow, as did she. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arched her head back, staring at the ceiling. The items on the table began to gleam wildly, light orbs floating from them and dancing in the air above the table's surface. They began to weave back and forth with each other, almost as if the lights were dancing to a silent tune. The other demons stepped back as Diana moved her arms up and pointed to the dancing lights. Her finger pointed into the air, leading the lights to follow where it directed, obediently. She drew a large circle in the air and the lights followed like a perfect trail, spreading out and forming a large void in the air. As they finally stopped moving, they burst into a bright light, causing the demons and I to cover our eyes from it. It engulfed the room, but died down just as fast, revealing a small tear in the air. Diana quickly leaned forward and dug her hands into it before pulling the tear apart, revealing... My bedroom? There it is! Diana continued to pull the tear open, giving enough space for me to jump through.
Hurry and go through! This is your chance!
I'm going! I wasn't going to let it go to waste. Let's go! I gripped the bottom of my dress and rushed forward, using momentum to jump into the air forward towards the void. I could almost reach it. I could feel the air conditioning of my room right at my fingertips. No!
She will never leave this world alive!
But I felt my air conditioning! We're going to end here before we see what happens next. Please thank Yammy for taking time out of her busy schedule to appear in today's video.
You're welcome.
Always love filming videos with you, Yammy. Please go check out her channel and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it one of these and make sure you subscribe. Give that gloomy subscribe button a bit of a pick-me-up. We'll see you guys on the next Seduce Me. I'm not sure when it is, but it'll come. Bye!